Have you ever had a serious case of the what ifs? If only I'd done that. If only she said this. If only I knew then what I know now, I would have done that so differently. Often the what ifs we use to beat ourselves up with. The woulda, shoulda, couldas. Now the past is like a rear vision mirror in a car. We need it. We need to learn from it. And like a rear vision mirror, we look in it from time to time. We need to see what's behind us. We need to check it when we're merging. However, you can't drive your life looking in the past, looking in the rear vision mirror of the past. However, sometimes the future and the road ahead looks bleak. It looks dark. And love is the headlight. Coming from a place of focusing on the day, turning on the lights with love, and not giving into the fear, the trauma and the grief is easier said than done. Because often with new change and with progress, fear, trauma and grief come along for the ride. They're a part of the growth for all of us as human beings. If we use the analogy, a metaphor of birth, a woman giving birth, if you were an alien from another planet and you were watching a birth, you could be forgiven for seeing it as a violent, traumatic act. However, it's one of the most beautiful things that can happen to us as human beings. And with birth, there's always a death. There's a death of that stage and a birth of the next stage. And the death of that stage is traumatic and often very frightening. And the death of a stage for any female and any male, that's becoming a father is you are no longer a non-parent. And there's a death at that phase, so the new one can begin. Now, the what ifs, when we're in that place of fear, trauma and grief, we can so easily get overwhelmed with beating ourselves up with what we didn't know then, how we behaved, what we said, our emotional immaturity, our naivety, if we misplaced our anger, if we punished, all of those things. But moving forward with life is always about focusing on what is. And it's been one of the hardest lessons for me to learn is when I hear myself saying what if or the shoulda, woulda, couldas, to actually bring myself back to the present moment, not drive looking in the rear vision mirror, because you will crash. You will crash any progress if you stay stuck in the what ifs. What if I had done that differently? So focusing on what is in front of us and turning on the heart lights so we can actually see is the only way forward to navigate. In today's Word Vitamin, if you get a chance to read that, I speak about that conscious effort in changing our thinking from what if to what is, and being grateful for what's in front of us, the love that is in front of us, because love brings light. And whilst there will always be tragedy and trauma and grief and loss, if we only focus on the loss without looking also at what we've gained, what we've learned and the beauty around us, it gets really hard to move forward. If we stay stuck in grief and trauma, it snowballs and eventually immobilizes us. And sometimes we need help to see the good, to see the light, to move forward. And so if you're stuck in a bogged down in your what ifs, or somebody you care about is doing the shoulda, woulda, coulda, if only, I should have known then what I know now, try and remind them of what you love about them, of what you know about them to be true, and help them move forward. And I've just put in a little Word Vitamin, if you get a chance to read it, to try and be the rainbow in somebody's cloud if the what ifs start thundering in and the road ahead gets dark. Anyway, I hope some of that's helpful, and we can recover from the what ifs with the what ises. So anyway, lots of love. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.